And hello, everyone. Welcome to TGD Today. It's Pro Golf Talk Live with HR3 and George Honeycutt. And I just want to say how thankful I am to have you here today, bud.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
It's like a God walking amongst men.
Oh, no. But it's been a rough morning. My little girl started 8th grade, so I'm getting old.
Oh, man. Today, first day?
First day.
Yeah.
Abby's 8th grade.
That's crazy, man.
Leanne's moved into her apartment in Charleston with her friends, so she's graduated and starting her.
Wow.
I'm like, man, this is just nuts. Bray's at Mississippi State, Sydney's at Auburn. I'm like, I got one out of school, two in college, and one in 8th grade about to go. It's been rough.
Man.
Been rough.
Man. Those gray hairs are multiplying.
Yeah, at least it's not falling out.
You just had to bring that up, didn't you? Huh?
Yours isn't falling out. You just got a, big forehead.
I'm not sure that's real.
Big forehead? And you're not sure it's real? Okay, let's move on. Let's talk some pro golf talk. You want to?
Sure.
What's going on, dude? Wyndham. This is it. The last tournament of the 14-15 season.
Yeah.
This is it. It don't go no further than this.
Nope.
We're going to see the top 125 come out of Wyndham, which is in Greensboro, North Carolina, and we're going to see them go to the Barclays next week. What else does it mean for this top 125? What else does it mean to them? Yeah, they're getting into the chase, but for those guys that are on at 128, 130, 135, why are they wanting to get into the chase? What else does it mean? Because more than likely when they start making the cuts next week at the Barclays, they're going to go from 125 to what, 90 or 75 or something like that?
Well, depending on who play, how people in front of them play, but it pretty much is guaranteeing them you're in the chase, you're exempt next year.
Ah, that's what I was looking for. That's that little gem I was looking for.
And because now you have a chance. Now, granted, going into the first one and you're number 125, you better play well or you're not going to the next one. Because, after that, I think it's 100.
Okay, that's what I was getting to.
And then it goes, the numbers keep going down. Yeah.
And then, of course, at East Lake, it's 50.
50. So, just because you get into the chase and you're in this first tournament, that's great, but you better make the cut to guarantee yourself. Because, they're going to have a couple after after East Lake that can possibly knock guys out of the 125.
We were talking yesterday, Hugh, about fantasy picks and this, that, and the other. And, of course, you'll have Jeff Dill and Gene Weldon and Jimmy Biggs and that crew that does the Fantasy Golf Talk show here on the Golf Director. And they all have their numbers and their stats and all that. And I enjoy listening to it because it just tells me just how poorly educated I am as far as the game. Because, they got all these numbers.
And I'm not going to say that it's poorly educated, and I'm not knocking because what they do, they need that stuff for the fantasy golf to help people do that. Mm-hmm. As a former tour player and a professional, that stuff is meaningless to me.
Okay.
It's all about the numbers. It's all about position on the money list, how you're playing, and watching and learning how these people.
Well, as we had discussed last year, this time of the year, this being the last tournament of the schedule, okay, this boils down to livelihoods.
Oh, this is your life, your career.
That's right.
This is now. William McGirt 7 under through 14 holes, and it's the first round. Now, can you do this all 4 days? Because you're going to have to if you want to.
But this means either I'm working at the top 4 floors of the corporation, or I'm in the mailroom.
You're in the mailroom, or you're actually the garbage boy running around taking it out to the dumpster. Because this right here is the lifeblood of the tour. Everybody focuses on the majors, and the stat was Spieth for the through the second round of the PGA at 54 under par or whatever he was for. That's a stat I didn't know, but I got a lot of enjoyment out of because it makes sense. It's scoring.
Tiger had posted 53 under in his majors, and Spieth had 54 under.
Yeah.
So they were comparing Spieth to Tiger. which they shouldn't do.
No.
There's no comparison.
That's just a wasted breath that they need to save in time.
Wasted hours upon hours.
And
I am so tired of it. But whatever. Let's move on. Let's move back to this conversation. So, and I'm going to test your knowledge here, and you can look at and see whatever you want. So 125 and Ford moved to the Barclays next week. 125 to 150, I believe, are exempt into the Web.com Tour.
126.
126.
150.
Right, I stand
playing.
corrected. Right. 126 through 150 is exempt into the Web.com Tour Championship.
Or into the final few events that lead to that.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then they almost had their own playoff system there, too, to where they'll play 3 or 4 events, just like the Chase, for the FedEx Cup.
Right.
But they do it on the Web.com, and then guys can basically earn their card, through that.
Okay.
And then if not, then they go to tour school and they have so many come out conditional. But for your exempt cards that go out, it comes out of the regular season Web.com up to the playoff. Those people are exempt that are in the top. I think it's the top 10. And then, or maybe top 12. I don't know. Anyway, they take 25. But then it comes out of the tour too. So.
Okay, so then as we get over 151 and above, they just basically have to live off the either exemptions for sponsors, medical, hometown, whatever, but they've got status on the Web.com Tour. And I'm talking about the guys at 150 and above.
No, they'll go back to tour school. They may be exempt. They'll be exempt to the second stage of tour school, but they will have to go back to tour school and earn their card through the qualifying event.
Okay. All right.
Only people that will be able to go to the Web.com are in the 150 and under.
Oh, really? Okay. Wow. The things you pick up. Well, we mentioned Eldrick Woods, and he is, of course, decided to play in the Wyndham, which, as we mentioned, was
You really went there.
Yeah. I really went there. I just wanted to give an update. This is Pro Golf Talk Live, and he is a professional golfer, last I remember. He's 4 under par through 12, and right now he started the FedEx Cup standings at 187. He is now at 4 under and tied for third. He's projected to move up to 167. However, after looking at all the math and hearing all the comments that's been made for the last week about whether he would play or, should he play or whatever, he either has to win this thing or finish second in order to move up enough to get to next week, to get into the chase.
So that'll get him in, though.
That'll get him in.
Okay.
He wins, he's in.
Yeah.
Second, some other things have to happen.
He has to be a sole second by himself.
I believe so.
Yeah.
So
he better win.
He better win. He better win. But for him, it's not like that much pressure. No. I got other things to do. I've got commitments in China, in Japan, in Dubai, So there'll be golf for me. And he's already committed in October to play the Fries.com. So that was a quote-unquote corporate type of thing that he did.
Yeah.
So, as far as I'm concerned, the only thing I think about it is, Hugh, he took a spot away from somebody else that could have played in this thing and made some money, a young, aspiring, maybe tour player or whatever.
You can say that all you want. He earned it.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
I'll leave it alone.
The guy's won more events than anybody on tour right now. And
right.
If he wants to play, he should be able to play. I mean, that'd be like saying Mr. Palmer couldn't go play or
Right.
Mr. Nicholas.
I agree. I mean,
So if he takes a spot away from somebody,
I'm
well,
in
that
agreement.
person should have played better to get in on their own anyway.
I agree. I'm with you there. And they did, like we talked about at
This helps the
Roundtable,
golf tournament.
they produced 49 more thousand tickets.
Well,
So
if it helps keep the tournament to where it's thriving, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it.
okay. Well, as long as Wyndham's behind it, it'll thrive.
Well, yeah, but him coming in there just gives him more reason to want to be behind it.
Oh, it definitely. I mean, they already had a good field. I mean, you're talking about pretty much everybody that's 100 and above is playing this thing.
Oh yeah.
So you can look at the FedEx Cup standings and pretty much take from 100 and above. You know they're going to be there, and they need to play well to really hold their spot. Case in point, William McGirt, who you mentioned earlier, Pro, he's already at 7 under par through 15. He has moved right now, projection-wise, from 86 to 28 in FedEx Cup standings.
Yeah, if he can, I agree. And you got
projection-wise.
and you got Martin Keimer right there. I mean, he's playing well. Tom Gillis is playing well again. Tiger, Chad Campbell, Carl Peterson, who plays that golf course well. But then you look, you've got names like Arjun Atwal. Your boy Charlie Howell's 3 under through 13. You'll see a lot of names. I mean, Jonathan Bird's playing in this tournament. I mean, when's the last time we saw him on a leaderboard?
Right. And Arjun Atwal. Yeah. I mean, Arjun has basically been living on the South African tour. He's been living on those sporadic European tour events he's been able to get into. The Latin America tour, he was playing down there for a little bit this spring. So Arjun, I mean, I've had the opportunity to play in a couple of rounds with Arjun at a amateur event that was held in Georgia. And one of the nicest young men you just ever want to meet, and so much talent. And now I've watched him through his career because of my, exposure to him back many, 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 many years ago. And it's hard to believe that, he's been around the tour for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And it just seems like yesterday he was, a college graduate that was playing college golf and playing in this amateur event.
Yeah.
It just seems like yesterday. It's like Bryce Mulder,
Well, I mean, I'm looking at a name here I haven't seen in a long time. I know he had injury. Apparently he's healthy, but Dudley Hart.
Dudley Hart, wow. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen anything,
Last time I saw him, he was quite overweight.
No,
and
last time I talked to him was on Facebook one day. I mean, he just sent me a message, after my father passed away, and it was nice. But I mean, to see him playing in an event, that's had to be 3 or 4 years minimum.
Well, here's another individual trying to make the chase, Justin Leonard, major championship winner, 191 projected now to move to 185, but he's going to have to play really well to make this chase. And like you said, secure that exemption for next year. It gives them a job for next year.
Yeah. Well, you look at somebody, but when you look at someone like him, though, George, they're vested members where they've made the 150 cuts, they've won tournaments.
They're basically lifetime
They've won
members.
one major. You're a lifetime member of the tour. He's not going to get into every event, but he will get into a lot because he is a good guy. Very good politically as far as playing in pro-ams and entertaining sponsors. He'll get into a lot of events. But, yes, you are right. They're trying to get that 125.
Running around town yesterday, I got asked a couple of times, Hugh, about, making picks or whatever. We don't bet here at Bushwood. But just making those picks.
Yeah.
They were asking me, they said, hey, Godfather, who should we kind of lean a little bit of money to? Who do you anticipate to have really good rounds all 4 days to secure their part in the 125? And I told him, I said, go online and look at number 125, Charles Schwartzel.
Oh, yes.
And Charles is going to make sure that he shores up his position in the chase for the FedEx Cup.
Yeah.
So, and again, he's at 2 under through 12 today, already moved up projected-wise 6 spots to 119. So he is going to continue this trend. He'll shoot 3 or 4 under each day, and just to shore up. And who knows, if he's up there at the top of the leaderboard at day 4, then Katie barred the door.
Yes,
because that swing's not going anywhere, dude.
No, he's solid as they come.
Yeah. You got Stephen Ockler, who is at 175 starting this week. You've got Cameron Piercy, who is at 154 starting this week. Troy Kelly at 223. Jeff Overton, there's a name that's been around for quite some time.
Yep.
He's at 115, but however, he's already dropped 2 positions to 117. So he's going right now in the opposite direction. John Merrick at 159. So we look at the names, Hugh. George McNeil, Luke Guthrie, Eric Compton's at 114. He looks secured for the FedEx Cup race, and I hope, like everything, that of course he's there. Eric is such a good story. Matt Bittencourt, 221. So Ollie Snyder-Jans, our rookie on the tour, just got his tour card. He is not even ranked, but again, he is just playing for longevity points, basically.
Sure,
You know?
absolutely. Absolutely.
He's playing in another tour event, so he's just getting his legs underneath him. Scott Verplank started the week at 242. So Scott, again, does have seniority points, I guess.
He's a life member.
So Aaron Badley, 152. He needs to make a move. Not doing so. He's at even par through 11 so far. Chris Stroud started the day at 105, so he should be pretty secure. He's right there at that 100 mark, but he should be pretty secure, I would think. Trevor Immelman started the day at 204. He's even through 9. Bo Van Pelt, widely recognized name on the tour. Bo is right now at 157. He is even par through 8.
Now, he's got a chance if he can get up there in the top 10. He's got a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But, you're looking at it, inside of 160, you've got a shot, but you've got to play very, very well.
Well, you need to be on that first page leaderboard, really, at the end of Sunday.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I'd say, if not, at least top 5.
Here's an individual, Hugh, that I looked at his standing in the FedEx Cup, and it caught me off guard, really. This was probably my biggest surprise because I thought this individual had played well enough during the year he would have it locked up, secured, and that's Ryo Ishikawa. I really thought that he's right now at 130. So he's on the outside looking in and not exactly starting off with like gangbusters. He's 2 over par through 11 today. So he's 9 shots off the lead already.
And I agree with you. That's a kid that, you watch him swing a golf club. You look at what he did in Japan on the Japanese tour. I mean, unbelievable talent. But once he got over here, he hasn't done much. He really hasn't. And
right.
It's a shame because the guy's got, I'm telling you, folks, beautiful golf swing, great rhythm, everything he does but I don't know. If it's being away from home, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he has never done anything.
I mean, we've in certain conversations, you kind of compare a Ryo Ishikawa to Hideki Matsuyama, who's had a phenomenal year.
Mm-hmm.
The other Japanese or the other Asian players, they kind of all get bundled in comparisons.
Mm-hmm.
Kiridash Afibanrat, the other day I was getting asked, first, how do you say it? Secondly, where is this guy from?
Yeah.
Is he from India? Because I had made the comment about Anirban Lahiri being the only player in Indian history from India that has played in the Masters. And they said, "Oh no, that Karate or whatever his name is, he's from India." No, he's not. He's from Taiwan.
Yeah.
So, it's all these guys can get lost in the mix as far as where they're from and what country they represent. This is going to become more important when it comes down to the President's Cup.
It is, but going back to Ishikawa, you look at the scores that he shot in Japan, the however many under par.
How he was winning.
Yes.
Okay.
It's almost like even though Jumbo Ozaki, played well in a couple of tournaments here, he never really did anything here. But when he would
Good
go
point.
home, he was happy. And he was comfortable and he played well and he would win. That's why he was such a legend and still is in Japan. I just wonder if that's kind of the same thing with Ishikawa, is the fact he's just not comfortable over here.
Do you remember who the winner of this Wyndham event was last year?
I want to say Bill Haas, but I don't
No.
so. No.
Camilio.
Villegas?
Camilio Villegas won this event last year. That didn't pop into your head, did it?
No.
And if I would have asked you, has Camilio done anything in the last couple of years, you would probably said, no, I don't think so.
Yeah. Because, I don't.
He won the Wyndham last year. So, You know, that's another one of those young guns.
But you never hear his name. But this whole year, you haven't heard his name.
That's right. That was the first Ricky Camilio. Don't you agree?
They tried to, yeah.
Jonathan Vegas,
Yeah.
Camilio.
Yeah, they tried.
You know, the media tried to, the young guns. AK.
Mm-hmm.
Kim. You know, you're sitting there going, what's going on? I mean, they're just trying to force these labels and these marquee, you know, the young guns and all this other stuff. And he just didn't come through, but yet he wins the Wyndham last year. Nobody remembers.
Yeah.
You know, nobody remembers. One other individual, real quick, on the PGA Tour, the European Tour, worldwide ambassador, and I want to say and send out heartiest congratulations to Mr. Ernie Els, who this week was announced is the 2015 recipient of the Payne Stewart Award.
And, you know, not a more deserving person, George, with everything he's trying to do for autism. You know, his son, Ben's got autism, and he and Liesl have gotten involved in this tremendously.
Ben's getting big.
He is. He is. And, you know, and it's funny because, you know, Heather and I have gotten, you know, we know Ernie well. And you know, to see the people that showed up to help with the grand opening of the building and everything down there that's going to help these kids with autism was truly amazing.
Right.
And it's nice to see, and nice to see people, you know, recognize that nowadays, and he's well deserving and to put everything he's had into it, and I'm very, very pleased for him.
First off, I congratulate the tour and the managing board of directors and all that for this award by naming it the Payne Stewart Award. I think there couldn't have been a better person to put it under.
No, I agree. I agree.
And then the recipients of this award, you sit and look at the individuals that have won this thing over the years since its inception, and each one of them just they have separated themselves during their careers in the golf world, and each one of them just wonderfully gifted individuals that have contributed so much both on the course and off the course, and Ernie Els is exemplary of that. He is just a phenomenal individual, and I'm just thankful personally that he's still out there entertaining us on a week-to-week basis.
Oh, absolutely, and I mean, Cuzzy, you well deserve of this, and I'm glad you've received this award, and what an honor. And, you know, George, I tell you, I was sitting there before I went to sleep last night, and J.J. Henry posted something on Facebook that he got a letter from Mr. Palmer congratulating him on, you know, winning out in Reno. Mm-hmm. He goes, I think you have this Stableford system figured out. Congratulations. And, you know, went on and he signed it, Arnold. And JJ posted that. I just shows you, you know, we talked about Mr. Palmer and I talking about Dad. And you know, he doing that for a young man that is basically trying to revamp his career, and just to send him a congratulatory note like that just shows the kind of person that man is.
Yep. Mentioning Camilo Villegas, who last year is the current defending champion at the Wyndham. He starts today, this afternoon, actually, at 1 o'clock. And right now he's in 129th position of the FedEx Cup race to get inside that 125. He's at 129. He hasn't even teed off yet, and he's already dropped 3 spots to 132. So Camilo needs to have a good tournament again this year in order to make the chase.
He makes the cut and is pretty solid. He has got, being at 129, he's got a really good shot at getting up in there.
Let's turn our attentions real quick to the ladies, Hugh, and they are starting one of their 4-day events. They're back up in Canada. So they are in the Great North, and I always enjoy when they're going up there. They're at the Canadian Pacific Women's Open in Vancouver. And Sedina Parks right now is in the lead in that tournament. She is at 2 under par through 4. You got LeBlanc at 2 under through 3. McPherson at 2 under through 3. And then there's a couple of ones, Stolding. And also Jenny Sue is at 1 under par. And then you got a whole host at even.
I tell you what, nice to see Christy up there playing well. You know, local Myrtle Beach girl. You know, she needs to get some stuff going here, and like to see her win. That would be great. She's a great young lady.
Well, MB Park has basically taken the race. Of course, they have their own cup race, and I'm talking about the CME Globe. And NB has basically started running away with this. Lydia Ko right now is about 800 points behind her.
Wow.
And so we're almost seeing a little bit of like the FedEx Cup, to where NB is running away from it, much like Jordan Spieth has so far with the FedEx Cup. I mean, Jordan right now is $9 million plus.
That's amazing.
And that doesn't include what the check he got for the PGA. So I'm not quite sure on the balance of that check. But you think there was a few dollars there? Was it enough to pay for gas?
Yeah, I think it'd pay for the plane. So.
Okay. For the plane gas.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. I was thinking about just the rental car.
Yeah, good try.
So the women are up there. This is the golf course, folks. If you haven't seen it before, the course there that they're playing in Vancouver is absolutely gorgeous. Be sure to check it out. There's going to be coverage of the tournament for 4 days. Again, they started today. This is one of their several events that they do, 4-day events. Primarily, they do 3. So if you can, get the opportunity to check out on the Golf Channel the coverage of the Canadian Pacific Women's Open. Again, Vancouver, Canada. And this is boring down to their CME Globe race. And there's quite a few players that need to jump up there on the leaderboards, and they need to get up in good high finishes as they are coming to a slow end to their tournament season. So the Web.com Tour, of course, is going on again this week. It is fired back up after the PGA Championship. And the seniors also likewise are playing this week. And they're in the Northwest, aren't they?
Yes, they're up in Washington at TPC. I'm not even going to try to say how. Snoqualmie Ridge.
Really?
Yeah, the Boeing Classic.
The good old Boeing Classic.
Boeing Classic up in Washington State, and they start tomorrow. So
I tell you, if you really, really want to see something impressive, just head up from Portland to Seattle. You're driving up the only expressway there. Runs north to south.
Yeah.
You can't go too far west, and but runs north to south. And then just kind of as you're coming into Seattle, just look to your left.
Yeah.
And for about 10 miles, just keep looking to your left. And that's the Boeing plant. I mean, it's most
huge.
Impressive thing you have ever seen in your life. I thought the first time I saw the Anheuser-Busch distillery, I thought that was impressive. But then when I saw the Boeing property, oh, my goodness.
It's unreal what they've got up there.
And as a flyer, and you start, I mean, I had people honking at me. Oh, my. I mean, because they're humming on that expressway. But here I am, a tourist, you know. I'm surprised I didn't stop and start taking pictures. But I'm literally doing 20 miles an hour in the outside lane so I could see across the median, down the hill, onto the airfield, and we look at all those frames laying out there.
Thank goodness Heather wasn't riding there.
she'd have
been honking and baiting on that. Oh, my. She does that here. I mean, unbelievable.
Just awfully impressive, though. Boeing, longtime supporter of the PGA Tour and the Champions Tour.
Yes.
So, and, of course, they really wouldn't be going back up there or going up there, and Boeing wouldn't really be a part of this if it wasn't for Peter Jacobsen. So, and by the way, if you want to catch a really entertaining interview, check out the most recent posting of Dave Faraday's The Faraday Show and his interview with Peter Jacobsen.
I'll tell you what, George,
it's entertaining.
Not hanging on to the past, but going, and we used to go out to Portland and play Peter's Pro-Am before he had the celebrity tournament with all the guys that would do it. One of the funniest things I have ever seen in my life, sitting there watching him do all his imitations and hitting shots, and it was just, we had a blast.
The one he does with Stadler, where he takes a bucket of balls and pours it down his shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's got that walk and that coin and the club twist. And, oh, my God, I've seen there's a 30-minute television show that they've kind of taken and filmed him doing that one time several years ago at thefries.com. And that is just entertaining year after year after year.
I mean, he does
year.
Mr. Palmer better than Mr. Palmer. I mean, it's just, and to sit there and watch it, you never get bored with it, folks, because, I mean, it is just the way he handles things. And like you said, he does the Stadler thing. As soon as he hits a shot, he just goes, flicks the club, and it's like he's throwing it.
You know who I loved that he started doing? Tom Kite.
Oh, yeah.
He puts those glasses that look like this. He's got the straw hat.
Yeah.
Okay, that Tom wore for so many years. And then those glasses, and that is the funniest. I'm laughing every time. And now he started doing Keegan.
Oh, gosh.
He started doing Keegan in the flip. You know, the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah. He's a piece of work. He's an entertainer. There's no question. He was a great player and still is. But, I mean, it is hysterical to watch that. So
well, again, right now, interesting careers are on the line, livelihoods are on the line. We used to talk about this a lot when there was true Q School. Of course, now we know that Q School basically feeds the Web.com Tour, which feeds the PGA Tour. But there are going to be individuals that are playing PGA Tour this week that are going to find themselves back at Q School. So keep an eye on it. Watch the Wyndham. Enjoy it, because come Sunday afternoon, there's a lot of people that a putt missed or a putt made could have a lot to do with their livelihood coming up very next year. Would you agree?
Not just livelihood. It's just whether you'll see them or not. And, you know, it's happened to a lot of us. You know, you go to tour school and you get through, then all of a sudden – you know, you're not exempt. You go to tour school and you miss. Now you're on the outside looking in, trying to figure out how to get in. So
well, this is exciting.
There's a lot at stake.
Yeah, there's a lot at stake. And this is an exciting time of the year, folks, as we're ending the season. But coming up in just a few short weeks, we have the Tour Championship at East Lake, presented by Coca-Cola. And Hugh and I have an exhausted amount of knowledge on East Lake. I've only played that place 150 times. So I know every blade of grass at East Lake. I'm going to let you know.
It doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me.
TGD Radio and TV are produced and broadcast by the Zeus Radio Network for thegolfdirector.com. When visiting the Golf Director, be sure to check out our featured course pages where you'll find up-to-date information, course conditions, and much, much more. Need help with your next golf vacation? Just call Dave. Give us a call right here at 844-GO-GOLF-1. That's 844-464-6531. All of our programming is archived for listening and viewing whenever you want to. To catch up on any show you may have missed, you can click on the radio or the TV tabs in the menu screen at thegolfdirector.com. We're now available on over 1 billion devices at iTunes, Audio Realm, TuneIn, YouTube, Ustream, Roku, Blueberry, Myrtle Beach Golf app. There's no place. I mean, I shouldn't hear anybody claim that they can't find us.
If they can't, then I just don't believe they know what to do.
We don't need them finding us anyway.
Yeah.
For George Honeycutt, Hugh Roy III, Jeff behind the glass, I want to thank you for tuning in. There's a lot more golf news and information coming up next.